As I say in most of my videos, hello YouTube. Anyway, I'm just gonna say it how it is. Abilify, which is a medication I was on for most of my teenage years for mental health reasons. It's probably the most psycho, crazy drug I've ever been on. The funny thing about Abilify, unlike most antipsychotics, it does not knock you out. It doesn't, it doesn't help you sleep really. I had sleep problems on it. It got my heartbeat racing like crazy, and honestly, I wouldn't say it's as bad as Risperdal because, for example, if I was on Risperdal for most of my teenage years, I would have probably had hormone issues right now. But because I was on Abilify for most of my teenage years, back when my high school wanted me to take psychiatric medication, because I was on Abilify, I feel like that's one of the reasons I don't really have hormonal issues. One of the pluses of Abilify, one of the few positive things of Abilify, considering Abilify has so many crazy effects, one of the few positive ones are it really doesn't mess with your testosterone levels. You can take Abilify, and from what I read up, your testosterone levels can remain quite average and normal. I didn't really have that much of a problem, exercising on it and staying in shape. Um, in one of my videos, uh, one of my videos, I mentioned in the past, for example, on Seroquel, you wanted to sleep all day. With Abilify, it's the opposite problem. You can't sleep. So I did a lot of walking on Abilify. It's funny, I didn't really have any weight problems on Abilify, which with antipsychotics, sometimes weight gain, it's unavoidable. Like with Zyprexa, that causes the most weight gain. From what I heard, a lot of people say Seroquel is a good one for not gaining any weight, but some people still do gain weight on Seroquel. And like I said before in some of my other videos, it really depends on the person. It really depends on the person. For example, I've heard, like I said before, I heard stories of people being on Risperdal and not gaining any weight on it, and then they go on Seroquel and they start gaining weight, or the opposite. They were on Seroquel and their weight was very neutral. It remained, at the same level it was before, and then they go on Risperdal and all of a sudden they start gaining weight. So like I said before, it really depends on the person. But for me, it was pretty. It was sometimes kind of hard to even gain weight on Abilify because I did so much walking on it. Because even at night, because I couldn't sleep. You know what I mean? My parents would be like, hey, kiddo, you can't be walking around at night so much. I mean, come on. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I mean, it got to the point where I started walking around my house, just laps around my house because I couldn't sleep. And the funny thing about Abilify is, uh, I never did crack, but the best way I can compare it is Abilify is like crack without the euphoria. So you get like this feeling like I'm so jittery, but you don't get any euphoria. You're just a zombie. So unlike most antipsychotics, which make you a lazy zombie that just wants to eat cupcakes and sit around watching TV all day, drooling on yourself with Tourette syndrome like tardive dyskinesia tics. Abilify, on the other hand, makes you jittery. It's like it almost gave me like ADHD. I couldn't concentrate on anything, but I was all over the place at the same time, which is the opposite of most antipsychotic drugs. Like I said before, most antipsychotics, I never got prescribed any typical antipsychotics like Haldol or Thorazine, so I can't tell you guys how that would feel like because I don't know. I was never on a typical antipsychotic, but my experience with various atypical antipsychotics are most of them make you want to sleep all day and down like 20 chicken wings. Uh, I guess the only thing that stayed, with Abilify that was the same with most other antipsychotics was or pretty much every antipsychotic I took was I still craved carbs and a bunch of unhealthy food on Abilify, but me back when I was on antipsychotics, I always except for that one time when I was 12 in middle school and I was on Risperdal, which is one of the reasons my mom switched me to Abilify was she was concerned about Risperdal making me gain a lot of weight. But the problem is what she didn't know is I would sneak out of my bed at night and eat chips in the kitchen and sneak back into bed at night back when I was on Risperdal at 12 years old. And basically that's how I gained a lot of weight at 12 years old on Risperdal. So and like I said before, I was also temporarily on Risperdal in high school, but I'm changing the topic back to Abilify because I'm starting to rant off topic here. Because, like I said, like I'm gonna say in the title of this video, I'm just sharing my Abilify experience right now. So, what did I say? Okay, I'm back. So like I said, Abilify, it didn't make me want to go to sleep like antipsychotics, like other antipsychotics. It kept me awake at night, and the only side effect that stayed, which was found in the other ones, was pretty much hunger. I still craved a lot of food, and uh, I'm gonna also say at the end right now, the biggest side effect I hated on Abilify was the way it made my heart feel. And like I said in previous videos, I'm surprised they don't have heart problems right now because even though I would walk a lot on Abilify because I couldn't stay still on it, in a way, I had to go on a very long walk at night in order to even, you know, get, tired enough in a way to get some decent rest at night on it. Uh, and I also had to take melatonin, and that barely did it. That barely did it, for me to get at least some decent, like the tiniest amount of decent rest at night while taking Abilify. But my major problem with it, like I said, was heart. Like my heart would beat like freaking crazy on it, uh, and that was the scariest part about being on Abilify. And like I said, I'm surprised they don't have heart problems because of it. But out of all the antipsychotics I've been on, uh, I was on Abilify the longest because like I said before, I gained a lot of weight on Risperdal at 12 years old because of me sneaking out of bed at night and eating in the kitchen and sneaking back into bed, which made my mom think that it was the drug itself making me gain weight. So I was stuck on Abilify for most of my teenagers because my mom liked it because my psychiatrist told her that unlike other antipsychotics, this one doesn't really cause any weight gain at all. That's what he said. That doesn't cause weight gain at all. So that's why my mom made me take that until the insurance ran out on it, and then I was on Risperdal again temporarily again, and then Seroquel, and I was on Geodon for a bit too. I think it was Abilify. Wait, after my insurance couldn't cover Abilify anymore, it was Risperdal, then Geodon, then Seroquel. Yeah, and Seroquel was the one I was on finally at the end before I turned 18 and I decided not to take any medication anymore since then. Um, but yeah, so that's basically the reason. I'm just gonna say at the end of this video why the reason why I was on Abilify the longest out of all the other antipsychotics is because my psychiatrist just told my mom that it's a miracle antipsychotic that has barely any side effects. So my mom sort of liked it because of that. But anyway, this was my Abilify experience. I guess I'll share my experiences with the other antipsychotics. I already covered Risperdal and I covered Seroquel. I guess I could cover Geodon eventually. Um, but yeah, anyway, to anyone watching, who has struggled through psychiatry and mental illness, stay strong. That's all we can do in this world is stay strong.